Hey everybody, this is Dax. Glad to have you back. So I'm doing something completely different today. I'm doing a reaction post-mortem. In other words, I already watched the video. I'm not going to have the video on here. I'm going to have a link in the description below for you to go take a look at it. It's a 28 minute clip that the Vanderwaal put together of a 1 hour Instagram post that Grace made on the 16th, 4 days ago. This one was posted by the Vanderwaal yesterday. So the reason I'm not doing a reaction on it is it is Grace Vanderwaal in stream of consciousness mode, perplexed, just basically utterly sort of exhausted with the world and on a rant. It's a stream of consciousness rant for the 28 minutes on this. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it. I mean, we all go into rants. I mean, I had a little bit of one yesterday that my brother was laughing about, but on the current stuff that's going on in America. But this is Grace Vanderwaal at her most frustrating that I've ever seen her, frustrated as I've ever seen her. I mean, she goes off on school, on friendships, on life in general, and on her music, her past music. So if this is going to be a complete plot spoiler. I mean, if you want to hear me first and then go watch it, fine. I would recommend that you go watch it and then come back and listen to my comments on this. So it's more of a post-reaction analysis of where Grace is right now. And that is not a good place. This video is refreshing in its honesty. Of course, Grace Vanderwaal honest. I mean, just candid as candid can get. Not sure I've ever seen her quite this candid before. And I've never seen her sort of like almost sort of depressed and anxious as this before. And yet there's a bit of a feeling in me that what she's doing here is basically what she does in her music, and that is get it all out and feel better afterwards. So some of the things she says in here are kind of off-putting when you hear it, and then she goes in to explain it a little bit later. She spends the first 14 minutes of this talking in an English accent, which at first is sort of entertaining, but after a while you're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And it seems to me what she's doing is she is basically taking on a persona, not really wanting to deal with all the things that are going on in her own voice, with all the things that are going on. So creating that distance between us, that lack of emotional connect between us. And it's kind of interesting to watch. And then she finally comes out of that after about 14 minutes and starts talking in her own voice. And she goes, oh my God, my own voice. It sounds so weird. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde experience. And it's really kind of bizarre to watch. But in the last 14 minutes of the video, she kind of starts getting back into herself and not the sort of stream of consciousness angst of the first 14-minute English accent, where she says several times, I don't care, I don't care. She starts losing watchers in the Instagram video at about 10 or 12 minutes. She goes, oh my God, people are unfollowing me. People are unfollowing me. Oh my God. And then she goes, I don't care. I don't care. So it's like, it's that kind of thing. It's very angst ridden, the first 14 to 18 minutes of it. And she says things like, I hate this school. She kind of hesitates for a second, says, I hate this school, the boarding school that she's at. And somebody says, well, do you like what do you think about your previous music? She goes, I hate it all. I hate all my previous music. And then she qualifies that a bit and says, she likes I Don't Like You and Waste My Time. But, and I'll get to that hate my music here in a second. And then she talks about, hating boarding school. And she says, she went to the school because she thought it would be different. She thought it would not be high school, but it is high school. People don't change. And Grace is coming to grips with the fact that people don't change. She even says at one point, people suck. Yeah. And then, so I'll talk about that for a second. My own daughter, who's exactly 4 months older than Grace, has been going through this for the last year. That transition period that we all went through, you know, between the early teen years and then you start getting your brain together, but then you're not an adult yet and you're sort of transitioning. And during that transition, you're actually making assessments of not just yourself, but the world around you. And you're realizing that the world can be a really nasty place and that many people, perhaps most people, can really suck, you know? And Grace is at that point. Grace is at that crucible point between middle, late teenage years and early 20s, where you finally start getting some stability in how you think about everybody and where you are. This is almost sort of a second I don't know my name episode for Grace, really. I mean, I don't know my name when she's 12, maybe even late 11, and then now late 16, almost 17. I don't know my name in the sense of who am I? And Grace, and who are these people? And how do I fit in? And what do I be? Grace even mentions in this that this is the first time in her life she's ever had social anxiety. And what causes that is not knowing exactly who you are and predicting the sensibilities of other people. And is that even important? As she says, you know, when people are unfollowing her, oh my God, people are unfollowing me. I don't care. I don't care. It's that dichotomy there. So she's going through that. So it's a bit fascinating to watch. As an aside, I don't ever watch Grace's Instagram posts. I don't even watch my daughter's Instagram posts or other people's Instagram posts. I'm not really into social media posting about life and stuff like that. The only time I watch Grace is when she does music in the Instagram posts. The reason I watched this was I'd heard a few things about it, and I was thinking about doing something for my Frankly Grace or Funny Grace series. Well, this one's frank, but it's stream of consciousness. It's almost impossible to respond to. And there's just nothing funny in this. I mean, this is that moment in life, and Grace is going through it. And I think one thing it shows also is her honesty in going through this, and the fact that she would do this. How many people would really lay themselves out there like she's doing in this? She even says at one point, which kind of surprised me also, she says, you know, I don't really want to do Instagram. Something like, you know, I hate this thing, but I have to do it. You know? And it had always been my perception that she actually enjoys doing her Instagram. She enjoys connecting with the people. And that, again, may just be her saying, her not really hating it, but she's hating the fact that the world is around her and she has to respond to the world and she has to talk about it because that's the milieu that she's in right now. And then she goes, and she doesn't really hate her old music, or maybe she just can't connect to it anymore. So she goes back to that a little bit and talks about how, you know, sure people around us may like our early music. And so she's kind of throwing, you know, not a carrot, but not a flower. What's it called? Anyway, basically saying, yeah, you can like that earlier music, but she doesn't anymore. She's going into a new period, and her new music is going to be that new period. And I get that. You know, when I look back on some of the stuff I did, I look back and I'm like, you know, I wouldn't say I hate it, but it's not me anymore. So this is sort of Grace Vanderwaal drawing the lines in the sand. The previous lines were my previous past. I'm going into a new place, and I'm trying to figure out this crazy world that I'm in. So, this whole thing was almost just sort of a venting by Grace of where she's at right now, and it was kind of painful to watch, you know. Really, it was the first 14 minutes when she's in her English accent are bizarre, really. I mean, you're thinking it's going to end sometime soon, and when it finally ends, it even shocks her. that she was in it and that what she really sounds like. I mean, she enveloped that accent and that persona for 14 minutes, which was kind of fascinating also. But anyway, I just want to say, if Grace ever sees this, yeah, I get it. I was there. I think most of us were there when we were 16, 17. It's like you got a big bad world out there and people just don't change. A lot of people just don't change. And it can be pretty nasty, but that's not what the world is about. And I think Grace will get through this. Maybe she already is. Maybe she vented, she's done, got it out, and is moving on. Because that purge is good. I used to do it with my friends. God, oh man, kids suck. People suck. Adults suck. Politics suck. Everybody sucks. Maybe Grace just had to do it, and she did it out in the open. I never could have done that. So I just want to say, chin up, girl. You're awesome, and thanks for letting us in. And the best to you on this, and I can't wait for your new music. And I hope your next post or some post in the future is you back with your feet on the ground and enjoying life again, because right now it doesn't seem like you are. So I look forward to when you will, because I know you're ultimately a supremely positive spirit. So you take care, and everybody else, all of you, take care of yourselves. Thanks. Catch you soon. Bye.